Hello fans! Welcome back to ABC General Hospital Spoilers channel. Today we will dive into the explosive developments unfolding in Port Charles on Monday, July 21st, where power plays, shocking revelations, and intense interrogations take center stage. In a dramatic turn of events, Portia Robinson is stepping up to reclaim her authority in a way that could reshape her entire world. Picture this: Portia, wrapped in a cozy robe at home, is visibly rattled as she confides in her husband, Curtis Ashford, who appears to be either heading out for his day or just wrapping up a long shift. Her hands tremble with fury as she declares, "I'm taking my power back. Drew Kane can go straight to hell." This outburst stems from Drew's relentless blackmail, where he's dangled threats over her family and her esteemed medical career like a sword of Damocles, adding a layer of intrigue. Imagine Portia reflecting on past incidents where Drew's manipulations have eroded her confidence, perhaps recalling a hushed hospital corridor encounter where he first hinted at exposing her secrets. To truly fortify her stance, Portia must prioritize her marriage and their collective safety, ditching any lingering hesitation. A detailed analysis of this moment reveals Portia's evolution from a passive victim to a proactive force. By being utterly transparent with Curtis about the specifics of Drew's ultimatum, by even detailing fabricated evidence Drew claims to hold, could rally his support for a counterstrike. Inventing a new element here, suppose Portia uncovers an old ally in the form of a former colleague who has dirt on Drew, turning the tables and injecting fresh tension into their feud. This reclamation isn't just personal, it's a pivotal shift that might inspire other characters to confront their own tormentors, emphasizing themes of resilience and family bonds in the soap's narrative. Shifting gears to another compelling storyline, Liesl delivers a sharp and insightful evaluation that could unravel hidden truths. Fresh from a tense exchange with Willow, Liesl rushes to Nina Reeves with alarming news. "There's something very wrong with your daughter." As a seasoned physician, Liesl's expertise allows her to spot subtle indicators of distress, ranging from physical ailments to more sinister psychological manipulations. Delving deeper, one might analyze how Liesl notices Willow's drastic personality shift, perhaps her uncharacteristic dependence on Drew, marked by glazed eyes during conversations or erratic mood swings that scream external control. With Liesl's recent return to Port Charles, she brings a wealth of experience, including her unfortunate history with brainwashing techniques from past WSB entanglements. Inventing an additional detail, envision Liesl conducting a discreet medical scan on Willow during their interaction, detecting anomalies like elevated stress hormones that point to coercion. This assessment isn't mere speculation, it's a calculated diagnosis that could lead to Liesl identifying a trigger mechanism, say, a specific phrase or object planted by Drew to enforce compliance. Analyzing this section, Liesl's role highlights the show's exploration of mental health and manipulation, potentially setting up a redemption arc for her as she applies her unfortunate experience to aid Nina in rescuing Willow from an invisible prison. Meanwhile, at General Hospital, Willow finds herself in a heart-wrenching plea that underscores the fragility of family ties. Tear-streaked and desperate, she's on the phone, likely begging Michael Corinthos for mercy. Is there really no room for compromise? The October custody hearing looms like a distant storm, and Willow can't bear the weight, especially with Drew's shadowy scheme in play. This plan is more aptly a devious plot to unearth Michael's skeletons of shady deal. Every perilous decision from his past to paint him as an unfit parent. Yet, history buffs will recall a similar tactic flopped spectacularly during the Nell Benson custody battle over Wiley, where Michael's resilience shone through. Expanding on this, imagine Willow flashing back to happier times with her children, adding emotional depth as she envisions playdates and bedtime stories now at risk. A new invented element could involve Willow discovering a hidden recording of Michael's past misdeeds, courtesy of Drew, heightening her internal conflict between loyalty and maternal instinct. Analyzing Willow's turmoil, this scene dissects the consequences of fractured relationships in Port Charles, questioning whether compromise is possible when vendettas run deep. And it teases whether Drew's recycled strategy will backfire, exposing his own vulnerabilities in the process. Over at Robert Scorpio's secluded residence, perhaps a charming countryside retreat just a short charter flight from Port Charles, Jason Morgan bids a poignant farewell to Sasha, Corbin, and baby Daisy Gilmore. With a reassuring tone, Jason promises, "You'll always have a home to come back to in Port Charles once the danger passes." Sasha's warm smile suggests their journey included a profound conversation, maybe touching on shared losses and hopes for the future, fostering an unexpected bond. The location's ambiguity adds mystery. Envision it as a cozy cabin nestled in rolling hills, providing temporary sanctuary from Port Charles' chaos. As Jason prepares for a commercial flight back, he's poised for a jaw-dropping encounter that could alter his path. Inventing a fresh twist. Suppose during their talk, Sasha confides a secret about Daisy's lineage, linking her to an unforeseen Port Charles family, which Jason vows to investigate upon return. A detailed analysis of this farewell underscores themes of protection and exile in the series, portraying Jason as the steadfast guardian whose departures often herald bigger storms. While Sasha's optimism hints at her potential return as a stronger, more integrated character in the town's intricate web. In the heart of the PCPD, Anna Devane ramps up, intrigued by summoning Carly Spencer for a series of incisive questions. Seated in her office, Anna probes Carly about Jocelyn Jack's enigmatic new boyfriend, Vaughn. "What do you know about him?" Carly's expression mixes intrigue and worry, pondering why Vaughn has caught Anna's attention. Anna's ongoing investigation suspects Vaughn's ties to the WSB, though concrete proof eludes her. Perhaps she's considering enlisting Jack Brennan for a deeper dive. Adding inventive flair, imagine Anna presenting Carly with blurry surveillance photos of Vaughn in suspicious locales, sparking Carly's maternal instincts to protect Jocelyn. Analyzing this interrogation, it spotlights Anna's detective prowess and the ever-present shadow of espionage in Port Charles, potentially unraveling a larger conspiracy that could endanger multiple families if Vaughn's allegiances prove duplicitous. Finally, Dante Falconeri dives into covert operations, peering over a colleague's shoulder at a computer screen in what seems like a surveillance stakeout. Tasked by Emma with a special favor, likely monitoring Professor Henry Dalton's lab or tracking Vaughn, is stunned by the footage. "Who the hell are you waiting for?" This could be security cams from Port Charles University, with the other figure being a campus guard rather than a cop. Dante's surprise promises revelations, demanding answers from shadowy players. Inventing a new detail. Suppose the screen reveals Vaughn meeting a mysterious contact, exchanging encrypted files that tie into WSB operations. A thorough analysis of this scene emphasizes the procedural thrill in General Hospital, where Dante's discoveries often cascade into broader plot twists, heightening suspense and forcing characters to confront hidden agendas that could upend alliances. Next, we will explore the electrifying teasers from the July 14-18, 2025 weekly preview, where a ghostly apparition from the past could upend everything in Port Charles. Kicking off with a bombshell that has fans buzzing. Jason Morgan experiences a spine-tingling moment when he catches sight of a woman in a teeming crowd who bears an uncanny resemblance to the late Britt Westburn, who met her tragic end in January 2023 at the hands of Heather Weber's infamous poison hook. With actress Kelly Thiebaud officially set to reprise her role, speculation is running wild about how the show might weave this back into the narrative. Could it involve a clever retcon where Britt's demise was all an elaborate ruse orchestrated by her brilliant mother, Dr. Liesl Obrecht, using cutting-edge medical science to fake her death and ensure her survival? Or perhaps the writers are introducing a fresh angle, like an identical twin sister hidden in the shadows or a mysterious doppelganger with ties to shadowy organizations. Adding an inventive twist to heighten the drama, imagine this sighting occurs not just in any crowd, but amid the chaotic bustle of an international airport terminal, where Jason is en route to a covert mission, his sharp instincts immediately alerting him to the impossibility of what he's seeing. A detailed analysis of this encounter reveals how it masterfully builds suspense, tapping into the soap's tradition of resurrection storylines that challenge viewers' suspension of disbelief while honoring Britt's complex legacy as a reformed villainess with a heart of gold. This could serve as a catalyst for Jason's deeper involvement in unresolved mysteries, forcing him to confront his own history of losses and near-death experiences. Delving deeper into the retcon theory sparked by Jason's shocking glimpse, the scene unfolds in what appears to be a crowded public space, potentially that very air, igniting long-dormant questions about Britt's true fate, especially as young Rocco Falconeri begins his own investigative journey into her involvement in the infamous embryo theft that altered his family's trajectory. A plausible retcon might unveil that Liesl, ever the mad genius, employed experimental cryogenic techniques or a staged autopsy to spirit Britt away to safety, aligning perfectly with circulating fan theories that have predicted her survival since the day of her death. On the flip side, the lookalike could be a previously unknown relative linked to the notorious Caesar Phazon, Britt's father, introducing a web of genetic intrigue and familial betrayals. Inventing a new element to enrich this plot, suppose Jason, in a moment of impulse, snaps a discreet photo of the woman on his phone, later sharing it with Anna Devane, who uses her WSB connections to run facial recognition scans that yield surprising matches to old Phazon files. Analyzing this development in detail, it underscores the show's penchant for twisting established history to inject fresh energy, potentially allowing Britt's character to evolve beyond her tragic exit by exploring themes of redemption and hidden identities. If Jason teams up with Anna for a full probe, it might not only confirm Britt's status but also unearth connections to current Port Charles power struggles, reshaping alliances in unexpected ways. Turning to the fanbase's divided reactions, the prospect of resurrecting Britt has ignited a firestorm of opinions, with some enthusiasts erupting in excitement Britt's alive. This is the comeback we've been waiting for, while others voice frustration over potential meddling with a storyline that delivered such a poignant, gut-wrenching conclusion. Her death scene remains etched in viewers' memories as a raw, emotional pinnacle, and tampering with it risks disillusioning those who appreciated the finality of her arc. Yet General Hospital's track record of audacious rewrites like shocking paternity revelations that flip family trees upside down indicates this could be a gamble that pays off in ratings gold. Should Britt make a triumphant return, her enduring bonds with figures like Nina Reeves or even Jason could spark explosive drama, perhaps positioning her to reclaim the chief of staff role at the hospital by outmaneuvering the compromised doctor. Portia Robinson, who's ensnared in blackmail woes, and the often absent Dr. Terry Randolph, to add a creative new layer, envision Britt returning with a secret agenda, such as exposing a hospital conspiracy involving experimental drugs that tie back to her death, which could rally fan support by giving her a heroic purpose. A thorough analysis of this fan dilemma highlights the delicate balance soaps must strike between innovation and reverence for canon. A well-executed retcon could revitalize Britt's narrative by delving into unexplored facets of her personality, like untapped maternal instincts or professional ambitions. But a clumsy one might alienate loyalists who see it as a lazy reboot rather than inspired storytelling. Exploring the broader implications, Britt's potential reemergence a bit as her authentic self, a long-lost twin, or even through haunting flashbacks promises to send shockwaves rippling across Port Charles, dramatically altering ongoing conflicts such as Brooklyn Quartermain's heated rivalry with Lula Spencer and Rocco's quest for closure on his origins. If Jason's eerie sighting paves the way to uncovering the truth, it could draw Carly Spencer into the fray, compelling her to intervene in order to safeguard Jason's stability and subtly steer him away from budding romantic entanglements that threaten her own influence over him. This setup tees up a whirlwind saga filled with mind-bending revelations. Inventing an additional element for depth, suppose the lookalike is spotted carrying a locket identical to one Britt wore, containing a photo of her with Liesl, which Jason recognizes instantly, prompting him to pursue her through the crowd in a tense chase sequence. In a detailed analysis of these ripple effects, the storyline exemplifies how one character's return can domino into multiple arcs, enriching the tapestry of Port Charles by intertwining personal vendettas with larger mysteries. It could elevate Britt's legacy from a closed chapter to a dynamic force, thrilling audiences with high-stakes drama while risking backlash if the rewrite feels like an unnecessary disruption to the emotional authenticity of her original farewell. Next, we will delve into the thrilling buzz surrounding Kelly Thiebaud's much-anticipated return to the show on July 18th. Igniting a whirlwind of fan theories about her role in the ever-evolving drama of Port Charles. Igniting fervent discussions across social media, Kelly Thiebaud's comeback to ABC's General Hospital has fans on the edge of their seats, pondering if she'll resurrect the fan-favorite Britt Westburn from beyond the grave, step into a recast position for an iconic character, or debut an entirely fresh face to shake up the canvas. Recalling Britt's heartbreaking exit in 2023, she was already battling the relentless progression of Huntington's disease, a cruel inheritance from her villainous father Caesar Phazon. When she fell victim to a fatal stabbing by the notorious hook killer, later masked as the deranged Heather Weber. In a scene that left audiences in tears, Britt drew her last breath cradled in the arms of her devoted mother, Liesl, devastating the small circle who truly cared for her, including her loyal friend Brad Cooper. Beyond the current storyline where young Rocco Falconeri is piecing together clues about his surrogate mother's involvement in his complicated origin story, perhaps even uncovering hidden letters Britt left behind that detail her regrets, another compelling draw for her revival is the unfinished romance with Jason Morgan, a pairing that sparked electric chemistry in its brief moments. Inventing a new layer to amplify the excitement, imagine Thiebaud's return episode featuring a cryptic flashback where Britt whispers a final secret to Liesl about a hidden antidote to her disease, planting seeds for a survival twist. A detailed analysis of this speculation reveals how Britt's potential revival taps into the soap's rich tradition of defying death, allowing for deeper exploration of her character's redemption arc from a scheming anti-hero to a woman seeking genuine connection while addressing fan desires for closure on and resolved threads like her paternal legacy and emotional bonds, potentially weaving in Professor Henry Hank Dalton's scientific expertise to explain a miraculous recovery through experimental treatments. Echoing the passionate pleas from the fandom, supporters are vocal about their hopes for Thiebaud to reclaim her role as Britt, emphasizing the untapped potential of her budding relationship with Jason, often dubbed Britson or Jabrit in online circles. One ardent viewer took to X to implore, "Please let her be playing Britt. Don't do my heart dirty." At General Hospital love Britson Jabrit, capturing the collective yearning for a super couple dynamic that could rival the show's legendary pairings. Another fan boldly proclaimed, "Huge miss if they don't bring Britt back as Britt. I really think that her and Jason could be the beginning of a super couple. Sorry, I said it." Meanwhile, a teaser of Thiebaud's initial scene, where Jason appears to be the first to encounter her mysterious figure, prompted another to confess, "Looks like Jason is the first one to see her, and I'm going to be devastated if she isn't playing Britt Westburn," to enrich this narrative with a creative invention. Suppose Jason's sighting triggers a memory montage of their stolen moments, including a never-before-seen rendezvous where Britt confides her fears about Huntington's, forging an even stronger emotional tie that could propel future storylines. Analyzing this fan fervor in detail, it underscores the power of character-driven romance in sustaining viewer loyalty, particularly for older audiences who appreciate nuanced dynamics over fleeting flings. Reviving Britt could not only reignite Jason's softer side but also intersect with Rocco's quest, perhaps revealing Britt as a key figure in his embryo saga through Dalton's lab research, adding layers of intrigue and familial revelations that honor the show's history of intricate plot twists. On the flip side, if Thiebaud isn't stepping back into Britt's shoes, the possibilities branch out into intriguing territories, with some fans theorizing she could recast the beloved Robin Scorpio, a role indelibly associated with Kimberly McCullough since its inception, bringing a fresh energy to the character's enduring legacy. However, a vocal contingent is enthusiastic about Thiebaud embodying a brand new persona, one that could inject novel conflicts into Port Charles without resurrecting the past. Tune into Soap Hub's engaging video podcast for the full scoop on these developments. One steadfast devotee expressed on social media, "I don't have any problem with bringing Kelly Thiebaud back to GH as a new interesting character. I will have a problem if they plan to resurrect Britt Westburn. Some characters need to stay dead. Britt is one of them," highlighting the divide between those craving innovation and those protective of narrative finality. Inventing an additional element to spice up this debate, envision Thiebaud's new character as an enigmatic researcher linked to Professor Henry Hank Dalton's lab, arriving in town with secrets that tie into Rocco's backstory, perhaps as a whistleblower on unethical experiments that echo Britt's own medical scandals. A comprehensive analysis of these alternatives illustrates the soap opera's delicate art of balancing fan expectations with creative risks. Opting for a recast or original role could avoid backlash from purists who value Britt's poignant exit as a definitive end, while still leveraging Thiebaud's talent to explore themes of identity and reinvention, potentially creating crossovers with established arcs like Rocco's investigations or Dalton's shadowy scientific pursuits for a multifaceted storyline that appeals to diverse viewer demographics, including those fond of intellectual plot depths. As the speculation swirls, the ultimate question lingers: who do you believe Kelly Thiebaud is poised to portray upon her return, a miraculously revived Britt Westburn, a reimagined classic like Robin, or an innovative newcomer ready to disrupt the status quo? Share your thoughts as Port Charles prepares for what could be its most game-changing comeback yet.